Hey, Dasan here with episode 9 of the Day and Night podcast. Today with me is my co-host Akane, and our two guests today is Duck and APM. Welcome to the podcast.
Yo, hello. Right, another podcast. Global, carrying on with the global trends, and obviously the JP trends, which are loads of collabs apparently nowadays. But yeah, it should be good.
Well, hello. Thanks for having me again.
Hello. Thanks for coming. Thanks for inviting me again.
Alright,
Perfect.
yeah. So it's good to have you guys on. We're gonna talk about global, like we kind of always do at the beginning of the podcast. We've got a lot of content that came out. Well, content, but it's battle zone for the one side of things, and then we have the assault field on the other side of things, and the remnants of the Valentine event that is wrapping up. And then we also got the release of a bunch of units, a couple of NASFest units, and then a bunch of seasonal event units that we are not gonna get the event for, sadly.
Yeah. I guess on that note, probably best to start off with the units. Obviously, I doubt we'll go into detail on every single unit because there's so many units that have come out. But the main two that have come out are Zeshi. Was the first one, and then Nazarick Eins, so the 1 year anniversary unit that JP got. And then obviously, for those of you who don't know, they've actually added pretty much every unit on JP. Like pretty much, not all of them, but majority of them. Another banner soon to come. So yeah, I guess in terms of units, Naz Eins is good because a lot of people have been saving for him before the announcement, and then they've actually released him before actually shutting down the game so people could actually get him and like try him out, because I don't know, but he's had a lot of hype since he's been released on JP till still even to this day, as an anniversary unit. So I guess that's pretty good. And then Zeshi, yeah, that's like absolutely amazing, like best unit in the game, hands down.
You say that like it's like,
Iconic.
oh, the two units we're gonna talk about is actually the unit that hasn't been buffed in JP, so she's pretty garbage, and then like and then Nazines, who is kind of falling off because Christmas Albedo is pretty much a better version of Nazines in global at the moment.
Pretty much, but still a lot of people want Nazines, to save up for him and get him, which I guess is good. But yeah, in terms of units, I think they're both good units. But I think the better thing out of these units, like and banners, is you get these units guaranteed on 5 steps, and it all discounted down besides the last one. So you actually get Naz Eins for 1,500 gems. So I think that's better, especially since it's closing down. That it's kind of, trying to make you spend less gems to get more characters to try out. So I guess that's pretty cool at least.
Well, yeah. I also really enjoyed that they are bringing over all the units. The banner that they come in, all the other units, also brings all the relics we are still missing, and has the same chance as NESFest, which means like we have 10% chance to get anything 5-star, and everything you get is something that's not been here before. So all in all, it's actually a really good banner. Sad thing that it's coming so late. But yeah, the main units, we finally got all the Entomas now. Yay.
Yeah, along with like, I've been ever since I saw like Nazines and JP, I always thought that was gonna be like one of the last few characters I bought. But since they're shutting it down, unfortunately, I'm not gonna be buying Nazines.
Plot twist.
It
Do you have
kind
enough
of
stones to pull for him though, or no?
No, I don't. Yeah,
Uh,
so I
mean-
definitely would have to spend money.
I don't know if you've done the events that have just come out, but I done the Valentine's Day event and the new story that has come out, like the new chapter. And I'm pretty sure you get near enough around about 1,000 gems, 1,200, something like that. So as long as you have like 300 on you, I don't know how broke you are, but I don't know if you got like 300 gems on you, you might be able to clutch through if you haven't done those.
No, yeah, I spent everything. I got nothing.
I also spent everything before. I did Zeshi full, and now I don't have either the means to get irons Well, I could, but then it's not important enough for me to get N9s. I have him on JP, and I think he's pretty boring to play with. So I splurged the rest on the limited banner, hoping for some cool units. And
Yeah, I got both of them, luckily, on 5 steps each, you know.
Yeah. Saving
I actually got
grace.
some pretty good pulls, not gonna lie. I got some pretty good stuff from those 10 steps, like considering that the game's shutting down, you know, it kind of breaks my heart a little bit. I got like Nazarick Nave, Naz Momon, Kyoku. I got so much stuff. Like it's great. I'm proud.
Yep. One last hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they kind of like instead of, or maybe if they just multiplied all the rewards you got by 10, so that you could actually have a good chance to get everything. But that would be too much of a wish, I guess.
Yeah. So
it's
since
already good enough to bring
Yeah.
on Obano.
I was gonna say, since we got so many good units, let's put them to the test. How is everyone's battle zone experience?
Boring. It's too
Go on,
easy.
you go first, APM. You go first.
Okay. Yeah, well, the battle zones are sadly we only got the lizard one first, and now we got another one depending on it, and we will get a third one that is even harder than this one. I found that certain units make the battle zone very easy, but you don't have to use them, so I tried to switch around a bit. But yeah, definitely a fun experience, especially if we got all the buffs that JP had already, besides Nazarick Abil. So we can basically play with all the units at full power on the hardest content even JP gets, which makes the past few days really enjoyable and really fun overall. And trying around with trying to run as many low power units as possible is actually a fun experience on there. Like Zero is totally viable.
Yeah. I mean, for me, with the new battle zone, so as you said, they brought out the lizard one first, and then they brought out the lizard one again, and the blue rose, well, the kingdom actually, and the masked demiurge one. So I done all three, and as APM said, like I found it pretty easy. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't actually have, or I do have a lot of units, but I don't actually level up any units. Like, I just use the ones that I have. So yeah, I mean, I was using Irons as my DPS or Samurai Demi, and like I still went past it like pretty easily. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. If I had more units, I'd definitely try and do some unique teams, I guess you could say, to complete them. So it'd be a bit more fun. But yeah, I just don't have time leveling up those characters. But it was a lot of fun, and it was actually, you could tell it was the most difficult content that Global's had so far. I would say, like the hardest difficulty at least. Like that's about as hard as the content gets so far on Global, and hopefully the second one is harder, I guess, when at it.
Yeah. Besides that, I think we had a Salt Field, just Valentine's Shout here as the boss. Pretty good rewards in the shop. Not much else to say about that, right?
Yeah. Try to get your center twins as often as possible. It's really, really good that you can get like 10 copies of the best relic in the game. I mean, not that it matters a lot right now, but still hella good to see a level 100 of that. Maybe I'm not going for another level 100 because I'm actually splurging all my AP pots on this. But instead gonna complete all the ranking reward relics that are chilling on level 70 and 80 in my inventory to level 100 to see my OCD with everything completed.
Yeah.
Only seeing that.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Yeah. So what the countdown for global ending is still ticking. We got about a month left before it's all over, right?
A month and a bit.
So I think we should just kind of keep enjoying it best we can before it's finally done. Any other kind of interesting tidbits people have been doing in global meanwhile? Or no?
I mean, I wouldn't say it was really like interesting, but like they did add the new chapter of the story, so I don't know if they're going to plan on adding a few more chapters just before the game closes, because a lot of people play it for the story. But I guess that's one way to go out, I guess, you know, add in stories so that the people that enjoy it, you know, they can do it that last chapter and kind of, I guess if you wanted to record or take images of the story and you can kind of look back at it, translate it at least, which I've heard a few people wanting to do. But yeah, I guess that's a lot of free gems that you can get just before shutdown. Pretty unique.
Yeah, I actually do kind of enjoy Mass of the Dead story. It's pretty good, and it does have like some, I guess, cut-ins with the anime, but I think it did have a good independent storyline anyways for having to do with all the chaos monsters and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna move on to JP actually, which is surprisingly a very short global discussion we had, compared to our normal global discussions, which last about 3 times as long. But it's just harder to find something to talk about all the new units because power skill wise, I think they've released all of them as strong as the JP version, and then anything kind of falls onto the tier list as the same. So we'll just move on to JP, which is still going strong. So we have a Tanya collab now, right after the Day Live one. So they buffed a bunch of collab units, pretty much all the first year ones, which is the Konosuba, the Tanya, and the ReZero units all got buffed. And then they released 2 new collab character crossovers. So it's Tanya Xiaotia and Tanya Shizu. And we got a battle zone just for Tanya as well. And I think that wraps out the content, besides a rerun of the old event. Yeah. You want to talk about the event first then?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of the actual Tanya event, the new one at least, is that the one that you wanted to go through about first? Or do you want to go battle zone?
We'll talk about the new event first. Sounds good.
Yeah. So in terms of the new event, I'm pretty sure, I can't remember exactly what was in the shop, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the relics that they buffed, and it was actually pretty good. Correct me if I'm wrong there, because I haven't logged into my JP account in a little while. But yeah, so like I haven't done the undead mission, but obviously I've seen you do it, Dai, and it looked pretty okay, I guess. It caught a few people off guard, I think, with not Tanya, Xiaotia on the second wave. She for some reason just decided to do a lot of damage when she crits.
Yeah.
Even till Albedo. But
there's a
yeah,
typing issue, but yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. The undead looked pretty reasonable. Kind of, I don't know if it was the same old because I haven't done any of the undeads in JP. But yeah, in terms of the actual shop, the relic that they give, from what I could see, is pretty good. Like in my opinion,
It's really good.
yeah.
Mighty Warrior.
It's free.
Yeah, it's Mighty Warrior with stats, just not attack. So, bit of speed, bit of HP, bit of defense, a lot less attack, but really solid overall. +2 evasion is really nice on that end game, because you want your DPS units to still kind of hit hard and like not die. I think that's really important. But yeah, I think there's also a gold ticket in the shop as well, which is always nice. Except for like Dark Elf Twins, most of the relics are like decent to get off a ticket. Any dupes gets you close to the 7 color crystals, so I think gold tickets are a nice shot reward. And then we got just a bunch of icons as well for the Tanya characters, which don't do anything, so it's just all purely cosmetic.
But the thing that's actually quite enjoyable is that the 4-star Tanya unit, you get your copies by buying in a shop, and one of them by using the recycle, is actually has an 80% bonus on loot. So farming these shards is really, really quick. Get like 30k each round easily.
Yeah. Very, very nice on that for like the 80 luck unit. Super obtainable to get with a bit of grind, and then lets you make the grind a lot less grueling for sure. I was gonna say, we could talk more about the new Tanya collab characters too, because besides like Tanya getting a buff, which just makes her a bit better than what she used to, has some things to patch out some of her issues with like high MP costs. But we got the new Shoutier, which has a unique buffing skill, which is Speed Enhance. And we got the new Shizu, which has a new debuffing skill, which is Curse.
And also
Yeah.
we didn't get Vice or Visha 5-star, which really sucks.
No, she's coming back as a 4-star, just like the,
Yeah.
the
even
other
buff.
units.
Vice and Grunts and König.
Yeah.
At least Vice they could have made a 5-star tank.
No. I don't think anyone's getting a rarity bump. Not like global. Well, that happened.
Sadly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do we want to talk about Tanya first?
Yeah. Tanya didn't really change much. Her costs got a bit better. So her 5 MP is a 4 MP. She has evasion in her base kit now, so she's a lot more slippery, which is nice. She's just a very good generic damage dealer who is hard to hit, which at this point is welcome with how hard everything hits in this game now.
Mm. I feel like they could have done more with the buffs on Tanya, but I said this to you already. Personally, like I don't know, like I feel like they've still done Tanya a bit dirty. Let's be honest. Like I still don't think she's that relevant at all. Like
yeah, she's not that good.
If her AoE was like an AoE evasion buff, then yeah, I could see a bit of relevance. But if you're just giving it to yourself, like unless the enemies are attacking AoE, like they're gonna be attacking your tank anyway. So you don't really need the evasion, especially if it's just one. But I guess it's Tanya, collab unit. People want Tanya. Not a bad unit, but yeah, I just feel like they've done Tanya a bit dirty. I think the new ones are a little bit more viable out both of them, to be fair.
She just reminds me of like Philo again, like nearly 1-for-1. Better passive, but worse stats. And both are incredibly fast. So I mean, if Philo is strong enough for you, then it's okay. But otherwise, she could have really used more on everything.
Yeah. The next unit we can talk about is we can talk about Shizu, a very simple kit, I think. She's got a single target stun, which is 30%, a bit lower than Wet Irons. She has her curse skill, which is 5 MP, which I think is really expensive, which is pretty much just a damage amp. And then her last skill is a 5 MP AoE. Yeah, no, nothing special, nothing great.
I'm so down about that.
Yeah, I was really hoping that Shizu would be just like super cool and busted, like but nah, all the Shizus just have been kind of like averagely middling, like decent units, but nothing to make them shine, except for Nazarick Shizu. Hopefully gets a buff to a multi-hit. I still believe in the 7 to 14 hit dream.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, Shizu, as you said, she's basically a slightly better version of Wet Irons, I would say, or not slightly, just a little bit better. But I think Wet Irons is like fell off a little bit, and just because the new meta is 4 MP AoE to look even slightly good, or your MP AoE skill needs to be like insane damage, like absolutely insane, like Nazarick Demiurge. But yeah, overall she hasn't got a bad kit. She's about Wet Irons, and I like her design personally. Like I think doing the collab, like cosplay, I guess you could say, Shizu definitely fits the theme for it because guns and Tanya. So I think that was really cool design as well. So yeah, not a bad unit.
Any opinions, Duck?
Well, it sounds like I always loved Shizu, but it seems like even in global, I feel like Shizu's always been pretty much done dirty, except like maybe with like 1 or 2, she's been doing well. What was it? Naz is not too bad, and the Christmas one, but it does seem like a lot of them don't do too well. Like I did get the Halloween one. I was kind of excited for it, but it kind of sucks low key. But so it seems like they do the same thing in JP too. So it's poor CZ.
Yeah. We want to shout here too how I don't think she's a good speed-ish unit, right?
The thing is, like, have we actually done testing on what that speed type strengthen actually does? Like, what is the actual strengthen for?
Can I just put my 2 cents for Shizu in quick?
Yeah.
I just I have no pity for Dai and for you, Doug, because I personally think that spot should have gone to someone else instead of yet another Shizu alt, and so I'm really not too hit about her being Medicure. But all in all, I really like what you overlooked, like the passive +4 hit. I mean, I'm not sure exactly, of course, is staking me with all other Shizus, but I would guess like Battlezone multi would make her a really strong candidate with, like, if you go in with 4 Shizus and all use their curse on a single unit, should pretty much die in one shot, right? In one way.
Yeah, it would let you damage jam, but I think it stacks all the way up to like 30% more damage, regardless of buffs and debuffs. I was gonna say, I think the +4 hit is just generally good because a lot of units in the game, like end game, have like high base evasion, right? Even if you go into the Tanya Undead, like a lot of them have like evasion +4 or like evasion +10 after like thresholds, right? So like having some aim to counteract that is not bad.
No, I think it was on that last Undead wave. I don't know who it was. Tanya. She
Tanya has
had
+5 passive.
evasion, base evasion 10 after 30% health.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need like a hit up, otherwise you're just gonna have to hope that you out heal their damage and like you can stay alive until you finally land a hit. So yeah, if they're doing stupid things like that, making units on undead missions and battle zones, you know, when they're below 50% health, have 500 evasion, like, yeah, you need something hit up, I guess. But I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's okay. It's yet another Shizu, yet another mid S tier. Way.
I think she's gonna drop the A tier pretty soon. But
Yeah.
you say there's so many Shizu ults, but right now she only has one more than all the other maids. And we're gonna move on.
Just
Hey.
look at anyone else. Look at
Wait.
Pandora's Actor.
No. I'm saying out of maids. Well, theoretically, we can compare her to other maids. She only has one more, and then we're gonna talk about this later. But there's other maids getting other variants. But we'll move on to our topic near the end of the podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it's like I don't think it's that awful. It's just the only reason it looks like they have a lot is because they have a lot of 4-star variations of themselves, and the other Flow Guardians and people don't. Yeah.
I can a 4-star like Albedo. The fuck?
Like a super welfare 4-star battle. That wouldn't be bad for newer players, right? That way you can start building intimacy and stuff, and then when you do get like a nice Albedo unit like Christmas or like New Year or like Nazarick, then like you're ready to go off the hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess moving on to Shouter. Yeah, has anyone figured out what that 30% speed buff does? Because like if it was like let's say for example it increases any speed element or typing that you have on your team like 30% on attack speed and defense, then she's really good. But if it's just like your damage like speed versus technique units is 30% increase, then it's not that good. Like I feel like we need to figure out what that actually means first. But I still don't think she's actually that bad of a unit. Nowhere near as good as Shizu, but I think she's not a bad unit. And I like her character design the most out of the two. But that's just me.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much once we figure out what that elemental thing is, that speed type strengthening is, I feel like we can give a clear indication of how good the Shouter is. But at the moment, I think Shizu's a little bit better. But yeah, like I guess it's new. This it's good to see that they're trying to add new skill effects or new buffs or debuffs to the game. So hopefully that means that there's going to be more variety of end game content, I would say. But I don't know if that's just me being too high hoped.
Yeah. I guess we just kind of see more and more as stuff gets released. Like, I'm waiting for, what is it, in 2 days' time? For that Shizu banner to come out. And then I'm gonna try to pull and mess around with Curse once I get that unit. And maybe, I don't know, Shouty will show up as well. There's we'll see how lucky we are with pulls. But yeah, no, it's pretty interesting to have new mechanics, even though some of it might be underwhelming. Like, we can talk a bit about unit buffs as well, because they buffed all the old Collab units, and I think that's like exciting to talk about, because they made Aqua just the best healer in the game for like no reason.
I'm actually so happy about that. As much as APM is, I can just tell that he's happy.
It's just shocking.
It's good. It's good to see like hated characters become almighty and all powerful.
I mean, she was the strongest before from Konosuba, but that was because Konosuba sucked.
Yeah, it still kind of does.
I went on that page looking for the buffs because, like I said, I'm a bit behind right now on the server, and just scroll through. Yeah, nothing changed. Okay, to evasion, still 8k heal. Wait a second. Wait, 8k heal to the party? What?
She's basically like 4 Saint Clems on one team. It's crazy.
Yeah. Not
But besides her buff, like,
yeah.
I think she's the only one that actually got a fairly decent buff. I mean,
What do you
Megumin's buff. Let's not like. They're all pretty rubbish still. Like, I still wouldn't use any of them unless.
Have you seen Darkness as 300% provoke?
Yeah, that's cute and everything, but 300%, like 200% works perfectly fine. I don't need
5% to hit the enemy.
Tank. Like,
you have to run. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, it's cute having 300%, but there's still like 4 or 5 tanks I'd pick over her.
I was gonna say 300% seems nice because I was playing around with the Tanya battle zone, which we'll get into, and I used origami and her 200% provoke missed, and then like my PDO died. So I'm like, 300% sounds pretty good right now.
That provoke seems like pretty nice. So I just saw some of the buffs and stuff. The provoke seems nice, but she's not as tanky as some of the other tanks. Like even just Christmas Sebas, I feel like is a lot better. Like sure, Sebas I believe is a little more tanky in like physical defense, I think, and Darkness might be a little more balanced, but it just doesn't seem like her I guess damage reduction stuff is not. It just doesn't compare with other tanks though.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. But he also gave her like 9,000 HP. So like that's kind of immense.
Yeah.
And the taunt still does do not much at all. And the damage reduction only goes for 2 turns, meaning 4 MP for 2 turns, meaning every 3 turns you have to pay the 4 MP. It just seems really weak if compared to even like Zero and stuff, even with her stats. And you know that you now have to run not fight for the first fight. I bow before you on her, and together with Xmas and Tomar give her +7 aim to go for that first skill.
The 2%, 5%?
5%, yeah.
That's hilarious. That's good. I like they added that. That's a cute little nod.
Yeah, it's really, really good flavor-wise.
Yeah.
5% to insta-kill.
Like, Aqua got a really good buff. Like, she's actually viable. Like, well, I say she's actually viable. Like, she's almost a must at this point. But, like, Kazuma, still useless. Darkness, like, okay, yeah, 300%, that's great. But there's still, like, 6, 7 tanks that are still better than her. Which is pretty much every tank in the game besides, like, what, OG Sebas. And then Megumin, like, I would pick her over Darkness, over who got the like second best buff out of Konosuba. Having like 9k base attack almost puts Megumin, I think, like 4th or 3rd on DPS. I can't remember if she's got more than Toga or not. But Glass and PDL having above 9k, and then Toga and Megumin having massive damage. Like you can kind of use her as a nuking down target now, which is pretty cool considering her AOE.
Mhm.
But yeah, like if anything, I'd say Megumin got an okay buff. Darkness got a noticeable buff. Kazuma got a buff, but like there's no saving that. Like he's just finished. Like just leave him. Just leave him where he is. He's fine.
No.
But Aqua's not useless.
Kazuma has like a good +4 evasion, +4 hit on his passive. That's like the bright side. And his steal has like a bunch of status ailments tied to it now. So like it's a bit more interesting. But like overall,
Actually, do you know what? Now I think about it, now that you've mentioned it, like the one thing I would say that's cool about Kazuma, and it's not really about him, it's more about how the game can go, is they've made it like, I'm pretty sure they made one of these skills like 1 MP and it's single target water damage. So that could be a sign that they're going to add more units that are going to be 1 MP dark damage, which basically indicates that unit, their basic attack is water attack every single time. Pretty much. And the only time you don't use it is if they're resistant to water, then you would just use it a normal basic attack or one of the skills. But like the 4 evasion is great and the 4 hit is great, but if you're not going to be able to do any damage or any good debuffs, like why would I ever use him?
yeah.
Besides
That's
for or 100 luck.
ReZero units. ReZero is gonna be the collab after Tanya, I thought.
yeah. So the rumor mill says, yeah. So the ReZero units got buffed. They're all slightly better than they were before, but nothing game breaking like Aqua getting a 4 MP AoE heal. So like Amelia does more damage, Rem heals slightly more, Ram does a bit more damage, Putagis does
And nerfed Ram.
He
and
actually
nerfed
got the
Ram,
best
her
buff.
OD.
yeah.
Yeah, he got the best buff, but unfortunately without intimacy, there's no saving that guy. I think he
Yeah,
is
but-
literally the only unit in the game without intimacy right now. I'm pretty sure it's just
That's a
him.
5-star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he will, but he will get it.
Yeah, he'll get it
Right.
during the actual event though, so
Yeah.
he'll probably get bumped up. I was gonna say Ram's overdrive was always bugged, so I don't think it was actually a nerf. I think it's just a correction.
It did something funny, and now it doesn't do something funny. Like all at OD1, you have already max. Now it's OD1, you have -1.
Yeah.
-1. Woo!
Yeah.
Woo.
Just gotta get more copies.
Just gotta get more copies.
Yeah. It's just like Nasik Albedo, you know? If you don't, then her OD is gonna mess up with her taunt, and then it'll be useless.
Otherwise, yeah, none of them are too overwhelming. Like that we have freezing on another character with Emilia now is fine, and Rem just got more tankier, but Saint Clem still is better than her.
I'm gonna say no. I think it's they're both equally good. It's because Rem can now throw magic resist on a single target to people like Clem can. Except I think hers is cheaper.
Hers
So-
is AoE.
Clem's is AoE.
Yeah.
How much is it though?
3
3
MP.
MP
3 MP.
or magic and something else. I can't remember what it is. Magic
40%
attack.
magic attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on Saint team as well. But their
Yeah.
boat is good. But yeah, I'm on Saint Clem boat.
They both have their uses, cause like Rem is a lot better at just keeping herself alive, cause like she the 2 MP shield is not bad. She has attack down on her single target, which like allows you to mitigate damage in a way, right? And then she has regen on a passive, allowing you to equip a evade relic. So then she has the best of both worlds of having those 2 good passives, like Zeshi does. Meanwhile, Clem, you had to pick one or the other.
Yeah, but with Clem, you have these massive tankiness. Like she has 15% flat reduction on everything, on damage, and much more stats. Like she doesn't care if she has no region.
She's better typing as
also
well.
not-
And, she's the best heart healer, whereas Rem's not even the
Uh,
best technique healer anymore because Aqua.
Wait, are we talking about typing? Because if we talking
Typing
about
is
Clem's
better
typing,
than
Clem's typing is worse.
Well, she's the best
Yeah.
heart healer.
But heart
That's
healers are.
that's
you
a
go.
low bar you're setting. You know that, right?
I'm just trying to find little reasons to get people on Team Clem.
give
That is better because she's tankier and she does more for the team. Unless your DPS is physical, I see no reason to ever run Rem over Clem because Clem has also the OD with AoE heal, which
I-
massively.
Yeah, what he said.
I still say Rem being able to keep herself alive a lot easier. Relieves pressure, especially against AoE type things, so that you don't even have to spam AoE here as much. And then I do like having the option to set up reduction or lower attack, right? So I just think it's a very flexible, a bit more allowing for margin of error in your play with Rem than with Clem. But that's kind of it.
We're all pro players, and so is everyone listening to the podcast. So we don't need that room for error. We don't make errors.
Hey,
No,
you know when you
anyway,
accidentally
come on.
leave it on auto when you go into the undead content and you spend
Yeah,
one
that's
turn
you, though,
autoing?
that's you.
No,
Let's,
it's got.
let's just move on to the next unit.
Okay, let's move on. Besides that, ReZero, Konosuba, Tanya, we've talked about all of like the buffs pretty much, right?
Yeah,
Like
and I promised it you last month. There are barely any units left that are not yet buffed and that I possess. And again, they've gone and done it and just buffed all the units I can never obtain or I don't have.
oh no, oh
Yet
well,
again.
at this point you can't, but like you can pull for them in JP. When they come
I
back
know,
with the banners.
it's just always the units in JP that I don't already possess are not getting buffed, like Nazarick Nabe, like all the units that aren't buffed right now are the ones I have maxed. It's kind of shitty.
Soon they will come.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
let's.
I'm waiting for Zeshi's buff. Don't worry, buddy. I'm on the same boat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
no.
Zeshi buffs are gonna be huge. I'm also waiting for Shizi buffs. Man.
Yeah, Zeshi, Ensma, and Shizu. They're the three to look out for, I think, personally.
Yeah, they're all really well. Besides Zeshi, really strong units as is, and I think.
Oh. Well, that's a low blow, man. That was right.
Let's not forget Nazarick Nabe. Maybe they do something completely
Yeah.
broke on her.
Maybe they give us some kind of provoke or something to make people hit her.
No.
or so- I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic.
Yeah, next topic. Okay, so we're just gonna quickly talk about the Tanya Battle Zone. It is a smaller collab battle zone, so there's only one stage, which is the Tanya collab, and it is just introduction, bronze, silver, gold. First three are pretty decent, easy to run. You can farm bronze if you have a bunch of AoE units. So if you're solo farming the event like I am, then you get about like 900 to like 1200 points. Just by autoing with good AoE units, and it clears it really quick. Silver, you have to have at least.
Although silver, right? Like silver is also one wave and only has marginally more HP than bronze.
No, it's bronze. Cause actual silver is the one with 2 waves.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's bronze and bronze 2.
Yeah, because like one's an introduction, kind of warm up, and then the other one's actually bronze.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the gold content is actually a bit hard if you're unprepared. Because I walked in there blind, and what happened was my Naofumi just got bursted down. Because one guy just stuns you almost all the time. So you just gotta kind of be prepared walking in that your tank is gonna get hammered pretty hard first couple rounds before you set up reduction. So I say even things like Albedo might not be the worst, just because she has that built-in provoke walking into the wave, and she's got those stacks of shields so she can set up properly. The only issue is the last wave of gold is all speed units, so Albedo is gonna get type disadvantaged pretty hard.
I like using Kurumi on there because she's the only human killer DPS or feasible DPS I have.
Oh yeah, but that does a lot of damage, right?
yeah, she's like the you don't use the single target, only the AoE, and she absolutely massacres all of them. But it doesn't work on Chaltier and on Shizu, Unlet and all.
Yeah.
And Tanya has evasion.
Yep. That's annoying. I think I spent like a good like 5 turns just swinging at her, not hitting.
How about you, Akane? And like, I actually haven't beaten gold yet. I struggled last wave, but somehow couldn't break through it. Maybe
I
I need
haven't
full
even
efficiency on someone.
touched Battlezone on JP because my account has a Zeshi level 100 and that's it. And I know she's the best unit in the game, but like I don't think she can clear Battlezone on her own, unfortunately. So yeah,
Just
I'm out on this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't think that plays JP. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Doc, have you considered coming over to JP or no?
Probably not, honestly. Just watching what they're doing in global, I don't trust Crunchyroll no more.
Oh no, that's the
choice.
beauty. The beauty of it is JP's not run by Crunchyroll at all.
True.
Yeah, they know how to run a game in JP, as opposed to
Don't join us. Don't worry. Don't join us, man. Don't.
yeah.
I've thought about it. I'm not sure.
But
Yeah.
JP is really. I don't think they are lasting. They're going to last more than 1 year more.
Why?
I give them 1 year tops from now on. Probably sooner.
We should quote that. We're gonna quote that. When it closes down, we're gonna come
So,
back.
so it's again like your quote on Naofumi.
Yeah, I'm the worst at quotes. Like, I think my quotes are like the opposite way. I'll be like, oh yeah, they'll buff Zeshi and she'll be the best unit in the game, but they'll buff her and she'll be the worst. Or like that's basically the sort of things that will happen. So yeah, do you know what? Good point. I'm just not gonna quote anything anymore. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Ignore me.
Yeah, I'm going to say JP. The reasons for that is because one, they are a lot of events they normally would have spread over multiple months, like all the collabs.
I think
And
that's more for a 2-year anniversary, than spreading the events out.
and on the other hand, you have massive power creep going on the enemy side as well as on the released characters. The buffs can't really keep up with it. You basically have to pull for the newest units because they will always be the most broken. And the circle can't hold up forever. It will collapse in like, once the whales have enough of the shit of, yeah, well, I pull for my data life unit, but now 5 months later, they are worthless.
Yeah.
What was that?
No, I'm
Imagine going for glass, thinking you have a top tier attacker, and look at that shit.
I think Glass is still a good unit. The only reason is I thought I was going to cut someone else off, so I just stopped. But yeah, someone else can go first, and I'll throw my 2 cents.
What about glass?
No, just about the power creep and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're just making people like broken, but they're kind of keeping the content fairly difficult, I guess. But yeah, I don't have too much to say about the power creep side of things. Like, I feel like if you have 2 units that are like top tier, majority of the time you can clear anything with them. Like, even the hardest content, as long as you have fairly decent units to back them up. But yeah, the power creep, it's the same as every other game. I mean, besides Naz Eins, like I don't think anyone's held that top spot or like top tier for a long time besides Naz Eins, and I guess Xmas Albedo's now lasting quite a long time. But who knows how long that's going to be. 2nd year anniversary in like a week. So literally a week. So who knows?
Okay. I'm gonna say just like, yeah, things are getting power creep, but I think we've been hitting it in like waves. Right now we're in the midst of like wave 3 of like power levels. So like there's like a generation 3 stats. So like you have new standards of attack. Like enhancers had to have about above 410 speed to be like classified as like an okay enhancer, like a good enhancer. Same thing with attackers, kind of hit like that 8k mark with attack as well, right? So we have like new standards for stats. We have new standards for percentages, right? So like if you're buffing or debuffing, right? If you're not within 25-30% at 3 MP, then like you're either bad or like you have another estranged buff attached to it. That's like unique. So like we got like a lot of whole different standards. Same thing with basic attacks. Like if you're a free MP single target attack, right? Either you're 125 or higher, and or your element rate is 50%, or like your 32 to 50% elemental rate, right? So we're getting a lot of new like kind of like implementations of like things that a unit should have when it gets released, right? And then they are buffing the old units to try to meet some of these standards, but you could say that some of the old units that got buffed in the beginning, they weren't meeting these standards yet. They were meeting like Gen 2 standards, right? So all the original Flow Guardians, they were meeting what the devs thought at the time were like Generation 2 standards, and Generation 3 didn't really kick off until like Shield Hero, which was about November. So anything that got buffed beforehand won't meet these standards, but anything buffed after attempts to meet the new standards of all gameplay. Yeah, but that's a whole nother conversation, and maybe a separate video. Yeah, we could talk about we talked about most of the collabs, right, and most of the new units. Is there any other topics you want to talk about before I move on to the last one?
Nothing from me.
Summer Evileye is pretty cute. That's all
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yes, the video.
Yeah.
Like Cifril posted a video back then when she first got released, back in July, of limit breaking her, and the scene you always have when you limit break character, and she's just like in the end just very shy.
Yeah.
Just cute, so cute.
Yeah. Oh man. Alright, so we're gonna move on to our last thing, which is our leaks section, which does not show up every podcast episode, but we get leaks every once in a while. We have a couple cool people in our JP chat who throw up some images or cryptic messages. But right now on the screen, I have the Master of Z second year anniversary campaign, which is the Real Pay campaign. Real Pay is a service in Japan that where you make purchases through Real Pay at your local stores that support Real Pay, and you get a set amount of points for how much money you spend. And then it says here that after you hit a certain point threshold, you will able to exchange it for presents, which is implied by the image to be 3 new units. It's like a Ainz in a very dapper suit, and then we have a Naburo and a Solution in very fine evening wear.
I mean, I don't live in Japan, but I want that Solution and Nabe. I'll take them both. But yeah, I don't know how we're going to do that. If that is the case, I think that would be an uproar for global players.
I think realistically what's going to happen is you may be able to redeem these with the Real Pay campaign, but you'll also be in a banner as well. I'm pretty sure that's the correct way to do it. So they'll show up in the banner, but then you can also get them through Real Pay as well. So I think it'll make both kind of camps happy. Also, yeah, no, these units look really nice, like for like Master of Dead units.
Yeah, they
Not-
look good.
Not quite Sobin level, but like pretty high up.
Look like skip for me.
Yeah, but like technically at this point, Solution and Nabe tie Shizu in how many versions they have, right? We just need a new Yuri, another Intoma, another Lup, and they're all tied again, right? So I don't feel all the hate Shizu's getting, you know?
It's always like she will always take some position. If all the players get the unit, it's fine. But okay, you have an event and you have all you 4 spots, and you can do whatever you want instead of giving like another PA or something. It's like, oh, let's take one mate especially and make another unit.
Yeah, because like there's like some trade-offs, right? Because like Valentine Yuri wasn't bad looking, right? But like would I trade like Halloween Shizu for like evening dress Shizu? Probably not, because Shizu doesn't have curves to fill out dresses like this. But like I would want like a Yuri in one of these like evening dresses, right? Compared to like let's say a Halloween one, right? Because I think like Halloween Solution, Halloween Shizu, like they're cute, but like I'd rather have like a different version of them, right? Alright, besides that, I think this comes to a close for our podcast, right? I think we've kind of discussed everything that's out in global and JP. Any last things you want to touch base on?
I want a ReZero skin of Entoma. Thank you.
You want to
Game,
read?
please hear me.
Alright.
Who is she gonna look like? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even watch ReZero, but I want. I want.
That's jumping the gun then.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who they could do as a collab unit for ReZero, like dress alike, if that makes sense. Maybe. Yeah, I don't have a clue. Jesus Christ. Cocytus as Subaru. That'd be nice. Just wearing a tracksuit. Why are you laughing? Yeah, that'd be great. And
Glorious.
Rem's costume. That'd be great.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah.
that'd be good. That'd be weird, but that would be something.
Yeah.
Because any other maid would just look like the normal skin. Like Nabe, Nazric Nabe basically looks like Rem anyway. Like just different hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kakaya Subaru would be my most favorite unit to come out, I would say.
Alright. How about you, Duck? Any characters you want to see in a collab cosplay?
Honestly, as long as I have Nabrol and Loopy, Lupus Regina, those are the only two characters I love and want.
Okay. Man, it's a shame you didn't get Christmas Loop in Global, right?
Yeah, I was looking for it, but I got Christmas Albedo, which I don't normally like Albedo, but you know, it's Christmas Albedo and she's pretty OP.
Yeah, it does that.
Oh, okay. Here's an idea. How about Pandora's actor in the clothes of Rosewall? That
Yeah.
would fit, right?
You could be on something.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah, you
It's like-
definitely just googled ReZero images and then you're just like, yeah, Pandora could fit in that
No,
costume.
yeah, actually watched
You've been
the
quiet
first
for a
season. I
little
read
while.
some of the novels, but
Yeah, it's a guy quartet. They're both like teachers, right? So like, I think that would be pretty legit.
in the
Yeah.
end, it's gonna be Tanya as Beatrice. Some weird 3D shares going on.
Oh my god. Okay, well, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast or watching it if you do that on YouTube. Yeah, I think that's it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thanks for being on there.